What was your first memory? No, seriously, what was the first cohesive, structured, deliberate line of thoughts to have ever been formed in your mind under your own volition? Sure, newborn babies do have thoughts. They are conscious, they react to their surroundings, they latch onto their mother's breast when given the opportunity, they evacuate their bowels when enough time has passed for food to be processed in their body. They cry because they are hungry again. They cry because they have an unmet need and they can't communicate this yet. They do think, but it's all instinctive. They aren't even aware that they are a separate, unique, individualistic self yet. They do think and they do react, but not because they chose to. No, I'm talking about when you first became really conscious of yourself as a person, who you are, when you realize that you are a separate being from everybody else. This realization came when I was about 4 years old. I remember one afternoon I was punished in some form or another by my dad, who used to whip my sister and me with a long wooden rod when we really misbehaved. The thought came to me and I became unmistakably aware of it. They were my own thoughts. I thought of retaliating, telling my dad that this is unfair, he punished me for the wrong reason and that I did nothing wrong. But I couldn't say this to him because I would be whipped again. But as long as the thought was in my head, I'm immune to my dad's beating. For the first time in my life, I felt invincible and liberated. I'm a free man. I can think of anything in my head without fear of repercussions from society. And soon I started telling lies to my parents. I started cursing at my parents, sister, friends, teachers, anyone in my head with great joy, wishing harm upon people when they did me something wrong. I realized that no matter how bad the outside world was, I could always return to my mind, my safe place, where I get to say anything without the constraint of social conventions, rules, and regulations. I could think of anything without getting into trouble. This brought me immense joy, as I have found my asylum from the bondage of real life. But soon, I realized how alienating and lonely having your own thoughts was. Sure, I'm now free from society. But oh, how dark and lonely it is sometimes when you can't share this with anyone else. You're just lost in your own mind, and it is a cold, dark place. Like most children of the internet era, social media has become a way for me to share my mind with others. I'm no longer lost in my thoughts, as I can still share and live in my fantasies without real repercussions from the outside world. Almost no repercussions, but I'll get to that later. It is incredibly validating to share your thoughts and having others acknowledging them via clicks, views, and likes on platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Now your thoughts and ideas become more real as people start to view them and give them some sense of significance. Things that used to be reserved for close friends and family members, people whom you really trust, are now broadcasted on the net, essentially become available to anyone in the world who has an internet connection and a phone. People can share anything in their lives, from the first girlfriend, how they broke up, to their first marriage, their first home, their first 140 kilogram bench press, the first time losing one's virginity, and even their quarter-life crisis. This is exactly what we are men are built for. We are meant to be the rock that other people in our lives rely upon. We are the rock. I'm sure I'm not the only one doing these things. You all have done this oversharing to some extent. Trust me when I say that there are things best kept spared from being posted on social media. Do not record yourself crying or having a mental breakdown and post it on the internet for everyone to see, which includes your employers, business partners, colleagues, and even people who don't really have your best interests at heart. Now, I'm not saying this because I have no compassion for you or that no one really cares about your suffering or feelings. No, we do care. You might think you are raising awareness for mental health issues or whatever, or that you are setting an example by being a beacon in the dark, shining lights on these difficult topics. But ultimately, you are just projecting your insecurities into the world. You are signaling to everybody that you are weak and that you need validation for these thoughts. No one asked for this. By sharing your thoughts with the world, you are inviting the whole world to be involved in your private matters. And do you really want to do that? I thought only whom you truly care about, the people you truly care about, can have such privilege of knowing you on an intimate level. If you start treating everybody in the world with the same level of intimacy as your soulmate, then what is even the point of having a soulmate in the first place? Wouldn't that deter her from wanting to know you, to connect with you in person, to get to know you? Because you already shared it with everybody else online.
This must be their leader. Beware of his power.
I'm starting to think that we shouldn't destroy this planet.
He's too powerful.
Is he speaking the language of gods?
That's it, we must get out of here.
Summary of Expedition Number 127XXX. Blue planet in solar system is home to the most powerful being on this galaxy. We must retreat.
Sure, it can be extremely validating to have others acknowledging your suffering, feelings of hopelessness and confusion of where you stand in the world when you share these thoughts online. But you need to process these emotions on your own. Save this for your therapist. Save this for your best mate. Save this for your mom and dad and your sister. You have to speak to them. You have to speak to people in order to start letting those people into your world, into your life. The people who you truly care about, not complete strangers on the internet. Do you just want to turn on the camera and cry in the most aesthetically pleasing way for an audience to watch so that you get some form of short-term pleasure via clicks and views? Or do you actually want to make meaning out of these emotions and suffering and move forward with your life? I know it's hard, but you have to process these emotions. Why are you unhappy? Why are you angry? Why are you jealous? Make peace with them by working through these emotions by yourself or with a trusted person, not sharing them online. Otherwise, you're likely to be seen as a voyeur who enjoys being watched. And I know most of you aren't. You are just lost and lonely. But you are not alone. If you have watched this video to the end, I know you are someone who has compassion. I know you do care about these things, and you do care about the world, and you want to make it a better place. And I trust that whatever comes your way, you are able to overcome this using your own ways. You will work it out. And I trust in you completely. As always, stay strong. God bless. I love you all, and I have complete faith in all of you watching. Peace.